up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3. Yes!
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Tuesday. I'm Brandon Beam hanging out with our guy, A-Ward Sports, Austin Ward, and of course, Nate Dogg behind the glass. Austin, happy Tuesday to you, my friend. What's happening?
Great to be with you, Beamer. I've missed you so much.
I missed you too. It was weird. It was kind of a weird start to the week. Usually it's you, Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's usually Murr for you or all kinds of different stuff going on, and you abandoned me yesterday to play golf.
No. I wanted to give Murph a gift. Hey, you don't need to work on the eve of your birthday.
That's right.
You want to go have a great time. Let me do this for you, Murph.
It's his birthday on Saturday.
Yeah, and he needs to celebrate it before heading out to Las Vegas for Big Ten Media Days.
To celebrate with you.
And I said, you know what? The girls are going to be gone this weekend. They're going to head down to Cincinnati. It's all the same to
For
me.
hell is real? Is that what they're going down for?
They're going to miss it.
Yeah.
We should have been there last weekend.
Yeah, you should have.
That would have been
game.
Quite the time. But said, I'll come in on Friday night, hang out with Beamer, just get the weekend rolling that way. And
we can do actually beers and Buckeyes with Pat at 6:30.
I think that we're going to have to wish him a happy birthday. But so let's just make this happen. Let's give you a swap-a-roo Monday and Friday. And if I happen to get invited to go play in the Ronald McDonald House charity golf outing on Monday, well, then I'll just go do that.
Lots of Buckeyes
But
out
it was
there
primarily about Murph, yes. Jake Diebler was out there talking some ball. Current Buckeye football players that were in attendance, Caden McDonald, looking pretty. I think his goal was to drop a few more pounds over the summer. He has done that.
I saw him tweet a picture either yesterday or today about it, and he looks awesome.
He looks fantastic.
Sonny looks like a monster.
Sonny Styles continues to look like he is now 29 years old and a 7-year NFL veteran. Yeah. You had Luke Montgomery out there. Since the day he showed up on campus, he's been involved with the Ronald McDonald House. I remember doing an interview out there with him when he went to donate some of his time. I think it was maybe it was a Valentine's Day thing before his first spring on campus. He was already giving back time, effort, and hours of his own to go out there. So he's now 3 years into that relationship with those folks out there, the great folks, that everything that they do for families that need. Mm-hmm. And then Lincoln Kienholz, number 4. I'm glad that he wasn't playing in the outing because a month ago he got now that they have the green light to play in the other golf charity outings. You had the Roosters and the coaches golf outing at Scarlet last month, and Lincoln Kienholz just shows up and wins it because
is he a stick?
There is nothing that Lincoln Kienholz can't do.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great baseball player.
He's probably going to roll out on Saturday and win the home run derby at the Cardale softball game.
Man, imagine that. Winning a golf outing and then turning around and winning a home run derby.
I did beat him in the Buck 9 episode at Fairway Columbus last year. So I think that's what motivated him to this new level of greatness. Like, I can't let this guy beat me in sim golf. No, that's not going to happen again.
No chance.
But he was hitting it like 400 yards. It was crazy. We were in
that number doesn't even compute in my head.
It was like that course up in Montana. We were trying to find the closest thing to home for everyone that we played in that in the simulator.
Coeur d'Alene, that's in Idaho.
That's Idaho. No, it was like...
Is that the one where like Bryson did the match at?
Yeah.
Bryson and Brooks?
Yeah. I don't know, Big Sky, something like that.
Bighorn, maybe?
And so it's played at elevation. They leave it the same. And then there's just this downhill par 4 with elevation. Lincoln Kienholz is swinging 175 miles per hour. And it's like the ball is flying. It's in the air for like 20 seconds. Just carried that ball 400 yards. No big deal. So I had to,
70 yards of bounce.
I had to fight from underneath in that one. I don't have that ball speed, as you know.
Oh, no. You don't have that swing speed either.
No.
That's a magician. Well, I'm glad that, why wasn't he playing? He just said, I've had too much success on the golf course. I'm going to leave it up. Everybody else can get your trophies.
Yeah, I think that was generous of him. That was his charity, was the rest of the field. He wasn't going to go win it.
Yeah, it's very nice of him. We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Coming up in our next segment, we'll get into a little bit more of the Garrett Wilson contract. What does that mean for the Buckeyes recruiting? I would think that it would be pretty good.
It's not bad.
We also got some Terry news to go over, too. So do a little NFL. Austin, your camp storylines coming up here at 6:30. Murph and I dove in a little bit to Matt Patricia last night. I'm not sure if you want to get into that a little bit more, but very interesting. We'll do On the Trail at 6:46. Birm, he will join the program, see what's burning in his mind on Buckeye recruiting and other things. Do the Pulse coming up a little bit later. Ongoing battle between the Big Ten and the SEC, and we will do your question of the day from yesterday. Not today's question of the day, but yesterday. Is it time for the Ohio State linebackers to step up and return to glory?
I almost couldn't believe that was the question I got. So we'll get into all that.
We'll dive a little bit into that. But earlier today, if you were listening to The Fan from noon to 3, Maddie and Anthony did a fantastic show from the Shot for summer workouts over there, basketball program, getting ready to rock. And I wanted to give you a little Jake Diebler. You played golf with him yesterday indirectly. Where was he at on the golf course? Was he close to you? Could you keep an eye on him?
I never saw him out there. I don't know if he played or not because this event, there's so many people out there and donating to a great cause. They're at 3 different courses. So I don't know if Jake Diebler played, how he played. He wasn't out there where I was at Tartan, but he did give, 15, 20-minute speech that had me pretty fired up.
Nice.
The way he was talking about the roster is because that's his job. He is a salesman for Ohio State men's basketball. He is the salesman for it. He's got to be able to believe in what he's building and what he's doing. But he did. And I was like, you know what? That roster does sound pretty good. You got old. You got bigger. You got stronger. You got a couple 7-footers ready to go. Let's rock and roll.
Let's
I'm
go.
I think I'm on board.
So here was Jake Diebler a little bit earlier on Rothman and Ice talking exactly of what you were just saying on his coaching growth and how they have built this roster.
You know, I felt like I got a doctorate in coaching last year. We dealt with a ton of adversity. College basketball is changing right in front of our eyes. You know, had to hire a staff for the first time. Like, there's so many moving parts there that experience, 5 straight games decided by one possession, first time in the 126-year history of the program.
Wow.
A doctorate, right, in coaching. And I think going into this offseason, having the staff already cemented really helped put this roster together. You know, we were able to take significant jumps with the help of our administration and our supporters and NIL. That helped us. So I love where our team is at. We wanted to build it out from retention, tried to take some notes from what Coach Day did over there across the street and build it, start with retention, you know, add some good young players and then piece it together with some talented portal guys. And so, yeah, I'm really excited.
It was just a quick follow-up, too. I feel like it's good to play these back-to-back. Just the importance of returning their core guys in John Mobley and Bruce Thornton and Devin Royal, and then also bringing in one of those 7-footers you mentioned in Tilly.
It's critical. You know, certainly a lot of teams across the country wish they could return what we were able to return in Bruce, Devin, and Junie. And you look at some of our young players who are developing in our program, excited about them as well. But when you shift to our guys we brought in through the portal, we felt like last year, you know, 4 of our top 6 essentially were freshmen and sophomores, and a lot of those sophomores had almost really minimal experience as freshmen. We thought it was important to get more experience in the front court. And so adding Kristoff and Brandon was important. Those guys have played a ton of college basketball games. They've produced in college before, and that's something we didn't have last year at that position or those positions really. So, and what I like, you know, you talked about the maturity, but I think the basketball IQ, the versatility, being able to, you know, dribble, pass, and shoot with size and physicality. And both those guys are going to play this season, 22, 23 years old and 240-plus pounds. So it's a little different look than what we had last year. Thought our guys played really, really hard and tough last year, but when you have the margins are so small in the Big Ten, you know, little possession here or there where experience can really play a factor and maybe that outcome being a little different. We're counting on that being part of the success this year.
Well, and they're deeper. And they're older, and the best part about it is you brought back your core 3 guys, which took a monumental effort to bring all 3 of them back in the craziness of the landscape in college basketball right now.
Yeah, I think if you look, it's disappointing, and we've all not really hidden our feelings or emotions or analysis about when Ohio State misses the men's basketball tournament. That should not ever happen, and Jake Diebler's not going to run from that. He's certainly taking accountability for it and getting ready for his second year in charge, but there's so many things you're going to learn from that. So if there's still been that lingering disappointment, questions, if Jake Diebler's the guy. I know that Ross Bjork has not batted an eye. He believes that he's got the right one with a long-term vision of what the Buckeyes need to look like on the hardwood.
This is first hire.
It's a crucial one.
Yeah.
When we're talking about football and men's basketball, that's almost exclusively how an athletic director is going to be evaluated, fair or not, because there's a lot of other things that go into that job, but that's the most public-facing responsibility that Ross Bjork is going to have. So getting that right and having the right leadership is imperative. But if that's carried over and there's still, doubt, skepticism, that's fine. I think it's pretty easy to have that when you're going through the offseason and maybe not think about how close Ohio State was. And this is not to justify, make excuses, find silver linings. But they played so many close games, as Diebler mentioned, that if you just get slightly older, a little bit stronger, you retain your roster, and only one of those games needed to go a different way, and we would be talking about Ohio State having been in the big dance. So they're not far away. They were not a disaster by any stretch of the imagination. It just feels like one when they're not in the most important tournament in that sport. You have to get there, but it's not a massive leap required to make that point.
And you get there by doing exactly what they did today, grinding in the summer. And I know it seems like it's a long time away before Buckeye basketball is going to kick off, but listen, it's going to be here before you know it. We got football season, and then swiftly after, the Buckeyes are going to hit the hardwood for hopefully a very exciting season. In a day and an age where NIL rules all, Ohio State has a tried and true strategy, with that strategy being the National Football League. We'll get into that next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining healthcare.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com. As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube, weekday mornings starting at 6. If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate. If you're a fan of Jeff Goodoff, drive directly to a hospital. Seriously, The Fan.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Light winds, hazy sunshine, warm and humid. Temperatures holding in the upper 80s on this Tuesday. Overnight will fall back down to the low 70s with scattered showers and a few storms possible early in the day. A better chance afternoon and evening with high temperatures running in the mid to upper 80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
We here at The Fan believe there's no such thing as too much Ohio State coverage. You're locked into the Buckeye Show.
Hanging out with Austin tonight. Coming up 6:46. A little bit later on, our guy Birm. He's going to join us as we go on the trail. You can always watch the show on YouTube. Shout out to TE13 in the YouTube chat. Said, guys watching from the maternity ward. Another Buckeye has been welcomed into the world.
All right.
Big congratulations. And I'm sorry that either your son or daughter's has to hear our voices in the maternity ward.
I mean, what better way to be baptized into the Buckeye fandom than listening to the Buckeye Show?
Indoctrinated into Buckeyes. Big congratulations.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. Do you remember your first, like that first night?
My first birth?
When Liberty, yeah, your first birth. When Liberty was born, like what that was like?
Primarily, the memories extend to how uncomfortable it was in the buildup.
Mm-hmm.
And Lib likes to tell this story because I'm like,
well, she was there.
It was just brutal for me because there wasn't a couch in there, no delivery room. You know, there was no bed. I'm laying on this, whatever tile floor.
Yeah. Poor you.
Yeah, I know. Well,
none have suffered as you have.
Preach. Allie's drugged up.
Preach it, brother.
She wasn't feeling any pain.
I was stone cold sober.
She was watching movies on the iPad. She was having a grand old time.
I watched Liverpool just smoke United that day 7-1.
So I think we went in at
so good. Maybe it was an omen.
We went in at like 8 or 9 p.m. And I remember a lot of the details of the buildup, and I remember the last hour pretty vividly. I'm not sure how anyone could forget.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I mean, I looked at the clock right when Liberty arrived. It was 9 a.m. on the dot. Now 2 weeks ago, June 28th, she turned 8. And then everything after that, after like let's say 10, is just an absolute blur.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what we did, where we were. I know that I had a mattress eventually once
Who
we moved
were
out
with.
Yeah, I mean it was people coming in and out. I know my in-laws were in there pretty quickly to hold Lib the first time. Maybe my mother-in-law was actually in the delivery room. I can't even remember that. I think she was for a while. So
did she get kicked out?
Eventually she did. I think. Well, she worked there at Riverside, so I think they gave her some secret bonus passes.
VIP pass. Sideline pass.
I was
access.
Locked in on just trying to be the best support for Allie that I could possibly be. Not complaining about my situation.
I just remember, like, my hands were obviously very sweaty, and Mary's like, hold my hand. And I grabbed onto her hand, and they were, like, sweaty and cold, and she just goes, ugh, get off of me. I was like, all right. Yes,
yeah,
chef.
That was the grossest thing in the room.
Heard chef. Yeah, I'll stay away. Whatever you want me to do. I'll play point guard. I'll go get you some water, some ice chips, whatever.
Baby.
Whatever you need to do. Yeah, William was born at, I think, 10:20 p.m. And I don't really remember anything from that night other than holding him. Mare's sleeping. I'm awake. I'm like, holy smokes, dude. There's this little tube of meat like right here. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
And I was listening to Lord of the Rings like on audiobook with him.
As you do.
Yeah, is what I was doing. And the Gollum voice came on, and then he started crying. I'm like, all right, now I got to turn it off.
He wanted to listen to 97.1.
Yeah, he did. No,
you could have downloaded the podcast.
I could have.
Anywhere you download it.
You can do that. So big congratulations. It's fantastic. Hopefully mom and baby are doing just fine in the maternity ward. Another Buckeye out of the world. Big congratulations. So we did this a little bit yesterday. Garrett Wilson, the $130 million contract, $90 million guaranteed. Pat actually pointed this out to me during a break. When his contract runs out, Garrett Wilson will be 28 years old. So he still has plenty of room to operate to get another massive contract. And who the heck knows what the NFL salary cap is going to look like by the time that this gets over. It will look like pennies on the dollar now, right? Every year with the salary cap going up. And then I was reading something from Terry McLaurin today. He was doing some press availability, and he said, I was very frustrated. He's looking for a new contract in D.C. with the Commanders. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, Terry is just such a shining example of coming here to Ohio State and competing. And I said this to Pat the other day. I'm like, when you think of Terry McLaurin, I think we all thought, Austin, when he was getting drafted or getting ready to go in the league, like, boy, that guy can have a 10-year career as a gunner, if it doesn't work out for him as wide receiver. And now he goes on, he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and he's looking for a shiny new contract. But you want to talk about a tried and true, maybe not recruiting strategy, but just getting guys into your building. And we actually had Mick Walker on last night who was kind of echoing this. Guys will take less money. NIL is so important now, and it's really being highlighted in the tackle position and the defensive end position. Like, that's the one where the prices are going up. And we can talk to Burm about this a little bit. But players on the recruiting trail are now taking less money to come to Ohio State and play for Brian Hartline in the NIL world. And a huge reason of that is not only the talent that is provided here at Ohio State, which you're about to see unleashed here in a few weeks' time against Texas, but also being prepared on day one when you go into the NFL and seeing these contract numbers on the other side.
Yeah, Ohio State has a way in the Woody, they like to sum it up by saying it's the difference between theory and testimony. Mm-hmm. And they've had years and years of this piled up where you can see the graphic and the numbers are getting exorbitant and hard to believe that it's real money. But it is once you get to these second and third contracts for these Ohio State guys who've been through the development process, got to the next level, whether that is the Bosas or Chase Young or now with this ridiculous string of success that's going on at wide receiver or the years that they were stacking up first-round draft picks at cornerback. I mean, you can look at almost anywhere on the roster.
Zeke was once the highest paid running back in the league.
Running back situation. You've got, you can find safeties. You've seen Pete Warner do some things to, maximize his earning there at the next level. Even
offensive line.
Even from a position that was relatively down, you still have Ohio State line, like Jerome Baker still making money. Like, it's sometimes not even about the position coach specifically. It's just if you've proven that you can survive a Mickey Marotti workout, if you can spend 3 or 4 years playing at Ohio State and competing in that meat grinder that is their schedule and trying to get to a college football playoff or competing in a college football playoff year after year, that changes you. It develops you. Yeah. And
here.
That is significant. It is a huge part of the sales pitch. And to your point, Beamer, Jeremiah Smith is not making the most that he possibly could as a college athlete by taking the deal that he has at Ohio State. Basically, I'm not in the room when they have that conversation.
It's not like he's not making much.
He's making plenty.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of outside deals that are important. But when Ohio State is having this conversation in the offseason, it's like, this is what we think is manageable and affordable for us, what we think you're worth compared to the rest of the roster and how that fits in for making sure that you can put other talented players around Jeremiah Smith. And he said, yeah, that sounds good, because he still fully believes in what's going on in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and what Brian Hartline can do for him at the next level. Now you add on top of this, it's not his faith in that wasn't wavering. He was like, I need to see what Garrett Wilson and Terry McLaurin get this offseason first before this has already been going year after year after year after year. And I think that's what sets Ohio State apart. They actually can make that sales pitch to recruits and say, what position do you play? All right, well, here's what you might get from some of these other programs. This is what they're paying. Here's their track record of NFL success. And here's Ohio State's. Mm-hmm. Take a look at this pie chart. These are the deals in the hundreds of millions, and these are the NIL deals in the hundreds of thousands. Which one do you think you'd like in 20 years?
It's a monster difference, right? I mean, it's a monster difference. And two, and you know this, Austin, you're in that building all the time. The development that you get here, not to say that other places don't develop you. There are plenty of great schools and programs across the country that develop and have you ready for the NFL. But all across the board, you get developed. And Emeka Egbuka is a great example of it. What did we hear from Baker Mayfield like a month ago when they were going through OTAs? He stepped in here, and he's versatile, and he can play any position, and we're excited to have him on board because he seems like he's been a 10-year vet. It's day one where Baker is throwing to Emeka. It's practice number one of his rookie season, and he's already saying something like that.
And it's not just because of workouts and not just because of the level of competition and not just because of the individual coaching. It's gone deeper than that now for Ohio State. With what I mentioned, that you have this track record of success on both sides of the football and at virtually every position. Yeah. What gets you better than just those other things I mentioned? Competing against really good players. And so when you're talking about everyone being fired up to see Devin Sanchez for the first time, and he goes out there as a 5-star freshman in spring camp, and the first person he has to get in line with and defend is Jeremiah Smith.
No boy.
Well, you're going to find out in a hurry. And guess what? It's not just one day. It's all 15 of those days. It's all 30 days in training camp. It's every bloody Tuesday that you have during the season. That's who you have to measure yourself against. And that carries a lot more weight with the guys who have that long-term vision are the ones you want to recruit, the ones who get so focused on the short-term benefit of these NIL packages. And I know that people hear this all the time, whether they get frustrated or annoyed and whether it's too much talk of the brotherhood, whatever, however you feel about it, it's legitimate. If you want that short-term benefit, you're probably not cut out for Ohio State, and that is why they recruit at that level and why they said that's going to be the last piece of this conversation. Because if you buy into the other things, and if you start looking at how much money Garrett Wilson is about to make or how much money Terry McLaurin has already made or
prospective Chris Olave, God knows what CJ is going to get when that contract comes up.
Or you go back further and you look at like Zeke petered out, but this is what he made when he was the highest paid player in the league. Michael Thomas when he broke records for wide receivers. Like, those guys don't have to do another thing for the rest of their life. So you could probably stretch out a really good college NIL deal for 5 or 6 years.
It's easy to stretch out 130.
But it's going to be a lot easier to do it if you have 8 figures instead of 6, maybe 7.
That would be a nice world to live in.
But I'll take the 7 if it's offered.
I would take the 5.
Yeah.
Give me the 5, and I think I'd be fine. More camp storylines with Austin coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
All Buckeyes, all the time. You are listening to the Buckeye Show.
Got Austin in with me tonight. Birm joins us at 6:46. I want to let you know that dropping just 25 pounds with the Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 degrees extra of golf swing rotation. It's about a half club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. From experience, you'd lose 75 pounds like I did. And now we're talking even better distance, consistency, and even mood. Every pound you drop takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. I lost 300 pounds of pressure off mine. That's why I was sprightly in the back nine of the 36 that we did a couple of weeks ago.
Just twinkle toes, we were calling it.
Just floating across the golf course. That may have been the Jell-O. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame at awaken180weightloss.com. Camp Storylines Austin. Big week next week. It is Media Days out in Vegas. You guys get back. You have a golf trip in between Media Days and the start of camp. But we are 16 days away from Buckeye Camp kicking off over at the Woody.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I'm going to miss those shows when I get back next Thursday and Friday.
It'll be all right. Be all good. We have plenty of content for Media Days.
We could just chat on the phone while I'm out there playing up there in Michigan if you wanted. But
I'm going to call you. I'm definitely going to call you from Vegas. Do you have the times where any of this is happening?
We don't have it yet. Normally, when it's in Indianapolis, Tony Petitti or the commissioner's address kicks it off. That's usually been at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And then Ohio State is the afternoon, like the 2 to 4 range. We'd knock out an hour with Ryan Day and then 45 minutes with the 3 players. So I would assume that that's going to be the case. I can't imagine that they're going to make Tony Petitti kick it off at 7 a.m. Pacific time.
Wouldn't think so.
That seems outlandish. And I won't really appreciate that if they do.
I was going to say,
to be fully candid,
you're not necessarily worried about Tony Petitti kicking it off at 7. You're worried about getting down to the conference room at the Mandalay Bay at 7.
That would be easier for me today than it was 10 years ago. I'll put it that way. I'm still not going to be loving it if that's the case, but I'm fired up to talk about football. I don't love the format of Media Days. I'm on the record about that. I'm not going to change my mind just because of the location or anything else, but this offseason has been a grind. It's an opportunity to get out there and just talk, no matter where it is.
Just talking ball with some dudes.
Talking ball with the dudes. And 3 really, really great ones for Ohio State, great representatives, and to hear from Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs about what they think this defense is going to look like with Matt Patricia, how different it's going to look from week to week. You know, you and I and Bob have talked about that for the last several months. Like, well, you can't just say that Matt Patricia's scheme is one thing, and you're not going to find out on July 31st or August 15th what that's going to look like as they get ready to play Texas, because it's going to be very multiple, very versatile. I know that those are cliched buzzwords, but I think it's really true that Ohio State is going to be able, with the personnel on hand, to line up however they want. For as much as we talk about the defensive line and maybe the depth could be better on the interior, well, if they don't have to play with 2 defensive tackles on every single snap.
Yeah, you're right.
If that's the situation that they're in and they want to get more creative and versatile and multiple, that's part of the appeal of dropping C.J. Hicks down to supplement that group, or using Arvell Reese and playing with, Peyton Pearson there at linebacker. Like, we don't know what it's going to look like.
They're just going to come out against Texas in a 3-3 stack.
Cool. Let's see it, because I firmly believe that. Like, Ohio State is not in a situation where it has recruited athletes that only explicitly fit into one scheme. They recruit freak athletes that can do whatever you want. Sonny Styles is the perfect example of that to me. He spent 2 years at safety.
Well, I think the cool thing about having Matt Patricia around and having the bevy of experience that he has is that he can identify what his guys do well, and then also identify what they maybe don't do well, keep them out of those situations, and literally build a defense around their strengths and around their weaknesses. I think that was the biggest thing for me, Austin, when it was announced that Matt Patricia's taking this job. I'm like, all right, it's going to be a little bit different than Knowles' system. Knowles' system, pretty intricate, obviously, and we'll see how that is year 1 for him at Penn State, and we'll get the firsthand taste of that the first weekend of November when they come here, and I think everybody's pretty excited for that game. But just having a guy with that amount of experience and being able to build an entire defense around strengths and weaknesses, or even packages, around like, hey, maybe it's 3rd and long, or maybe it's 3rd and 3. We need run stoppers here. We need pass defenders here. Doing whatever without actually getting into like super X's and O's football talk.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best character trait that he has. And we were Pat and I were listening to Keenan Bailey talk about his 1 year with Chip Kelly. Like, oh, you could show Chip a offense back from 1995 and he would be able to diagnose it immediately and say, I actually ran that, like I know the strengths and the weaknesses of it. Like, I think Matt Patricia is kind of on the same level. I mean, this guy with NFL head coaching experience with one of the greatest coaches of all time with Bill Belichick. You don't think he soaked some of that up as a sponge? I think you're crazy.
And he's a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
So he's pretty bright. He can put this stuff together. As you mentioned, when you think about trying to nail down what Matt Patricia's scheme is, when he's got this Bible and he's got that pencil behind his ear, I don't think there's any defense under the sun that he and Bill Belichick haven't worked on, deployed in a game, talked about, schemed, whatever. I mean, it all exists for them. And that was the way that their hallmark of what New England and Bill Belichick did, was taking a game plan that was specific to the opponent and then finding the right personnel for that. And I think this will be, I should never put it in these terms, but when you're talking about dropping down from the NFL and the finite number of players on your roster, and Matt Patricia has talked about this some already, and I asked him about it at the coaches clinic, like, you don't have some of the same restrictions. You don't have to find, all right, you're going to drill these 2 or 3 things with this guy. He's the best to do it. It'd be cool if we had somebody else who could. When he looks around and he walked in to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and saw Sonny Styles over here and Caleb Downs over there and Jermaine Matthews over here and CJ Hicks down there and Caden McDonald and Edric Houston, and just scratching the surface, it's like, well, this guy can do that very well. Mm-hmm. And this guy can do that extremely well. And look at this frame on Arvell Reese. What planet, what solar system did he come from? Is he a tadpole galaxy guy? I don't know, but I'd like to scheme up some things to turn him loose. I think that we're going to see more of that. And if that means that on some weeks CJ Hicks is going to play 40 snaps and in others he's going to play 15,
yeah,
so be it. I think that there's an understanding of that as well, because it does feed back into the same conversation we've had over and over about the brotherhood and the long-term vision for their own careers. And many of these veteran guys, CJ Hicks included, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Davis Nigbinosin, they know how that can pay off, being selfless and maybe not taking every single snap available to you if you have to play 16 games. They know what that's like. And then they can tell the younger guys what that's like and find the best way that you can contribute. I think that there's going to be more flexibility on display from Matt Patricia than what we saw from Jim Knowles. And I'm not saying that the other way was bad. They were the number 1 defense in the country, and they won the national championship.
Let's not bury the lead. They were very good. They were very,
Nothing
very
wrong with
good.
that. It's just
you also had players who played in that system for 3 years. Like all those guys who were contributors last year had played in that system other than Caleb for multiple years.
And I think that the complicated nature that you referenced for the Jim Knowles system, I think almost required that you had multiple years playing in it to get to that level of comfort. And again, Jim Knowles could have stayed forever. He earned his spot with a national championship. He made a choice to leave. Sometimes that works to the advantage of the program that you're leaving as well, that they get a chance to start fresh. Maybe that's not like a recruiting perspective. That's not a schematic perspective. It's hard to get better than what Jim Knowles produced. They were number 1 in the country. They won the national championship. But if you no longer have that same level of veteran experience that Ohio State did and the familiarity with what Jim Knowles did and all of that walked out the door, maybe Matt Patricia is able to put something in place with the help of Tim Walton, with the help of Matt Guerrieri, with the help of James Laurinaitis, with the help of Larry Johnson, that is a bit more streamlined. And we'll see, because that is the number 1 question going into July 31st, at least on that side of the football, is what that's going to look like, who's going to be involved, how many guys can be involved, and what Matt Patricia can come up with to turn them all loose.
Am I crazy for even just like speaking this out loud? Like, if you were going to go through a coordinator change, and you had just mentioned Jim Knowles, he could have stayed here for forever, right? And then he decided a couple of days after the championship game.
No, before.
Or before. That he didn't want to be here and he wanted to go to Penn State. He was on the phone at 6 a.m. the day after the championship game with James Franklin. Whatever. All right, he's gone. Doesn't matter. But the fact that you're going into the season with 8 new guys, now we've seen these guys play before, but we haven't seen them play the amount of snaps that they're getting ready to embark on this season. It almost seems like if it was going to happen, that it was a good time that you're getting all these new faces in here and you're getting a new defensive coordinator to be able to build the strengths around guys who we may or may not know be good at X amount of things.
Yeah, I would say that's probably less true on the offensive side of the football.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ryan Day is still there at the head of the pyramid, which is critical. And I don't mean that as any sort of doubt or skepticism about Brian Hartline's ability to call plays, but Chip Kelly had the track record. He had the ability to pull, Ryan Day into this next wave of his career of being the CEO and taking the hands off the play calling.
Did it for 40 years.
Like, they're in a situation now on the offensive side where I think like Brian Hartline has proven, as we mentioned when we were talking about the wide receivers, beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is the best wide receiver position coach in the game and has one of them in just short period of time, the most decorated resume that you could possibly have. Like maybe even ever. I don't know. It's in the conversation after just a couple of years. But this is something that's new for him. The hire for Ryan Day on the defensive side, this is not new for Matt Patricia. Now, he's going back to college. He hasn't been there in a long time, doesn't have the deepest body of work at that level, but he has been trusted to call those plays and dial up, different game plans week after week at the very highest level of football. Asking him to go inherit Ohio State's defensive talent and find a way to use it is not going to be difficult for him. And I'm not saying it's going to be hard for Brian Hartline to call plays either, but between the two, I think there is a situation where, yeah, you lost Jim Knowles, but Matt Patricia's coming in. That should be just fine. On the offensive side, it may well be just fine for Brian Hartline, and he has earned the trust and the benefit of the doubt with Ryan Day and working with Keenan Bailey and having Billy Fessel around and all that. But, with two guys coming in there, a run game coordinator in Tyler Bowen and Brian Hartline calling the plays, this is new for both of them at Ohio State. And it is interesting how some of that, intrigue for me has flipped from one side of the football to the other.
We're going to check in and go on the trail with our guy Birm coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron, you know that complete HVAC system we sell for $12,000?
Yeah, it's for homes that are 1,600 square feet or less.
How big is 1,600 square feet?
3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. Those homes are what America is made of.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Other companies are charging $15,000 to $18,000 for that same system.
Yeah, I know.
And if your family doesn't need a new furnace, Eco will replace the AC component for just $8,500. Why are we doing this?
Nurses, police officers, office workers, firefighters, and school teachers live in those houses, Jerry.
The people that America is made of live in the houses that America is made of.
We're just doing what we can to restore balance to the universe, Jerry.
Get Eco.
ECO.
When a person is doing well, they're making money. But when they're doing good, they're helping others.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
We're bringing balance to the universe.
Go to geteco.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The best kind of power is star power. Let's go on the trail.
Hanging out with my man Austin tonight. Back in tomorrow as well. Right now, as is tradition, every Tuesday, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Vegas hotline, check with our great friend. He is Jeremy Birmingham. Birm, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. How pumped are you to be sharing a hotel bed with Austin in Vegas next week?
Hey, no.
Well, I thought that was the promo that we were running.
There's some misinformation being put out there right now, Beamer.
Is it the same room, or what's our room situation looking like?
No, we're grown men. We have separate rooms.
We made that adjustment about 6 years ago. So we're never, I think the Rose Bowl, was that the 18 Rose Bowl? Yeah, Dwayne, Urban's last game.
Rose Bowl,
yeah, Washington, Dwayne's game, Urban's last game. We had to got to spend a week in one media suite because it was so expensive out there. LA, as you may have heard, is just an awesome place to have
cheap little
a
place
postseason game. And that was one of the most insane weeks of our entire life. And we're like, you know what? We're never doing this again. Even if we have to pay our own way, we're not doing this ever again.
Yeah, it's worth it to have a little bit of sanity because, think about these road trips like Big Ten Media Days, et cetera. We do spend a lot of time with each other, but also with a large number of other people on the Ohio State beat. And when the night is winding down, the ability to stay away from people is actually really beautiful. So it's a requirement now. We definitely keep it separated.
Are you driving? Or are you training? Are you flying? What's your travel method to get out there for next week?
Well, if Southwest Airlines is listening, I want to be clear about something. I'm giving them a chance to win me back over. I've been exclusively Team Delta for the last 5 years, but I'm giving Southwest Airlines a chance to prove me wrong. So if you're listening, Southwest Airlines, I want you to know that I've got my eyes on you.
What do they have to do? Why is this chance being offered?
I don't know. I think that they're number one. I stopped using Southwest because their loading process is just insane.
I love the cattle herd.
Yeah, well, that's over.
That's so fun and exciting.
It's so dumb that way. But also, they don't have stuff that people need, like outlets or USBs or anything like that. And I didn't realize, when I used to fly Southwest all the time when I was younger, that it's like a budget airline. And I thought it was kind of like Cat's Meow back in the old days.
Ooh, fancy vacation coming up. Gonna get on old Southwest.
They took away their bag fees, or are there no bag fees, or when is that changing? Because that was a big deal.
They've got them now. Assigned seats.
Oh, man.
But still no USBs. But also, you guys may not know this. I used to live in Phoenix.
Oh, you did?
So Yeah, so there was a lot of Southwest Airlines flights out of Phoenix back to the Midwest. So I was a regular at that time. Now I live close to Detroit, or as the French pronounce it, Detroit, and the airline it is a hub for Delta. So I like to make sure that I'm really utilizing the hub.
I want you to tell the gate attendant when you get to the airport, you better not be scared to be great or to see your name in bright lights, because the spotlight is solely on you this week, Southwest.
Their sexuality has nothing to do with this.
Hey, Burm, what are you most looking forward to? Talking to anybody Ohio State related, conference related, when you guys get out to Vegas next week?
I'm interested to see the way that the rest of the conference reacts to the phenomena that is Jeremiah Smith, because it's interesting. Ohio State just won the national championship. There's all this other stuff going on around college football. And every year at Big Ten Media Day, which is a complete waste of time for people, Ryan Day, or the Ohio State head coach, draws a huge crowd of non-Ohio State affiliated media. But I imagine this year, it's going to be Jeremiah Smith who draws that crowd more so than Ryan Day. Not that, they separate it so the players aren't up at the same time as the coach, right, Austin? Or is that
that's correct?
So Ryan will still get a large, crowd there. But I want to stack it up side by side and see if JJ gets a bigger draw, because just nationally, I think people are just enamored by him in a way that is pretty rare when it comes to a college football player.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fired up are you to just ask every coach, every player there about NIL matters?
Nil. On a scale of 1 to 10, my answer is nil, which I'm not going to ask anybody about NIL matters. Actually, yes, I will, but because I have to, not because I want to, because it's stupid and nobody can tell the truth, and the people that do are called crybabies or whatever. But it's such a weird time. I mean, you saw today, Ohio State missed out this week when Tyler Atkinson, a 5-star linebacker from Georgia, did not include them in his Final Four because they did not allow him to take an official visit 3 weeks ago. Instead, he took a trip to Texas. He committed to Texas today. Texas then flipped another 5-star defensive lineman from Georgia who'd been committed there for 14 days, just about an hour ago. So, it's such a weird time in college football. And no one knows the rules. There aren't any rules. And I like to hear people complain and cry just as much as anybody. But I think that it's just such a weird time to ask people their opinion, because nobody really can say anything that is going to make a difference. If Ryan Day and Dabo Swinney and Kirby Smart can't get people to listen to why this is a problem, no one can,
Were you surprised that that Sark and Kirby didn't come to blows with all the recruiting stuff going on today at SEC Media Days?
No, I mean, I just think it's funny because you start to see people, the narrative shift so quickly. There was 2 weeks ago, Texas had been scuffling a little bit on the recruiting trail, and the Texas media had begun spreading the news that, hey, Texas isn't spending a lot of money this cycle. The Buckeyes, and they're not one of these desperate schools like Ohio State. Blah, just making stuff up. And then this week, all of the Texas fans are like, oh, what's the matter, Georgia? You broke stitches. It's like, what are we doing? It's like,
you're on the radio, fam.
It's okay. You can say it. You're loud.
The tone shifts so quickly. It just makes zero sense. And everyone knows that these are why these kids are making these decisions. And it's going to be better for everyone if we stop pretending that NIL isn't driving 95% of these decisions, because that's what's happening. And certainly you can understand people's frustration, but Ohio State is still trying the different approach. We'll find out if it works this week. They're looking for a decision out of 3-star, borderline 4-star wide receiver Jaquaden Guilford from Fort Wayne. He'll commit on Friday, choosing between Ohio State, Ole Miss, Indiana, Michigan. So the Buckeyes may have some news on that front this week, so we'll see. But I think it's trending in the right direction as we sit here on Tuesday, but you never know how these things go at the last minute.
At the last minute of your time here this evening, Burm, what else is on your mind? We did Shane Dan a couple of weeks ago. I forget what you said last week. What else is bothering you? What are you happy about? What do you got going on?
Well, all right, so Beamer, here's the deal. I just had some spaghetti, okay, at home. And you may not know this about me, but there's a few things I really don't like. And one thing I don't like is chunky spaghetti sauce. Okay.
Smooth.
I don't like a huge chunk of tomato, especially when the sauce is advertising itself as like a 4 cheese with like a nice Romano blend in there. And yet you open it and there's like a whole tomato in there. Because then I'm not the bear. You know what I mean?
You don't have an immersion blender that you can just.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Like, don't tell me you're giving me a 4 cheese pasta sauce. And I get it. It's a tomato sauce. It's a red sauce. I know there's going to be some, small pieces of tomato, but I'm talking like a whole tomato in there, and it's just too much. So that's really that's what's bothering me right now.
I hope you get in a better mental space before you hop on that Southwest flight. All right, the tomato doesn't bring your week down that much.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
All right, goodbye, Burm. Have a great night.
Bye.
There he goes, Burm, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. One Big Ten team is loading up on huge non-conference games in the future. We're going to get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Puterball. Tonight in Georgia is the 2025 Major League All-Star Game. The American League looks to continue their dominance, winners of 10 of the last 11 meetings. Ferris Skubal represents the American League, squaring off against Paul Skeens. Stephen Kwan is set to represent the Guardians with Ellie De La Cruz and Andrew Abbott representing the Reds. Catch the action immediately following the Buckeye Show. A busy day in the NFL. In New York, the Jets have awarded star quarterback Sauce Gardner a 4-year contract extension worth $120.4 million with over $85 million guaranteed. This makes him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And in Kansas City, the Chiefs reached a 4-year extension with right guard Trey Smith worth $94 million with a $70 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid interior lineman in history. Breaking sports news when it happens to the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
For us here on a Tuesday, hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. Just saw this, Austin, from the Columbus Dispatch. Ohio State Fair 2025 deviled egg flavors. They're sweet, salty, and spicy. Sometimes in one bite. It's one of my great pleasures in life, going to the Ohio State Fair and tasting all the different varieties of stuff. Now, I don't get crazy like with the donut burgers and everything, but I like to dabble. I like to dabble in some of the stuff, and Meredith is a big deviled eggs gal. Yeah. Loves deviled eggs.
Good for her.
And I'm like, all right, well, if we're going to try them, then let's try them. And the deviled eggs at the State Fair are fantastic. I can't wait to read what the flavors are. I'm looking at one cookie dough flavor.
No, I don't want that.
No, that's not for me. I'm more of a... Deviled eggs should be a savory thing.
100%.
It should be a savory. They did a buffalo chicken one last year. It was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The fact that you kicked it off by saying that the sweet flavor was cookie dough.
Well,
I'm all the way out.
I don't have the list in front of me, but I'm looking at the picture, and it's cookie dough with a little cookie in a deviled egg.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Yeah, not a sweet deviled egg guy. When's the last time you took Lib to the State Fair? I love going to the State Fair.
I don't think she's ever been to the Ohio State Fair.
Oh
no.
my God, she's missing out. She doesn't know what she's missing in life.
Yeah, I mean,
the butter cow over there, all the goats and
she's obsessed with roller
animals running
coasters.
around.
She'd view the fair as a disappointment. We took her to the St. Tim's Festival on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, get me a wristband. I got to do the rides. And I watched her. Everything she did, she would just pretend like she was falling asleep because they're just like normal fair rides. And like, she's saying how bored that she was because they didn't go upside down. I'm like,
well, we're not at Cedar Point, honey.
Yeah. Sorry, Dollywood was 2 weeks ago. This is the best that you've got out here.
You just go to the State Fair, you have a couple of soda pops, and you walk around and eat some food. And then just sweat 10 pounds of sweat out because it's always 1,000 degrees on that blacktop.
It all sounds great.
Yeah. No, you'd love it. We should go. We should all go together.
All right.
It'd be a great time. Nate Dogg, happy
What's up,
Tuesday.
boys?
How you doing?
Doing all right.
You a big State Fair guy, Nate?
I haven't been to the Ohio State Fair in a hot minute. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's a marquee event on the calendar for me.
I can tell.
Yeah, I love it.
You're fired up.
I do. I love it. I get fired up for it every year.
Well, last year, Indiana head coach Curt Cignetti told us to look him up because, he wins all the times. Mm-hmm. It certainly helps when you don't play anybody. Indiana has canceled their 2027-28 home-and-home series with Virginia and have replaced them with Kennesaw State and Austin Peay. There are currently 0 Power 4 non-conference games for Indiana in the next 4 years.
Yikes. It's one way to elevate your program and get more wins on your schedule. It is certainly a way to do that. I don't know. You did this massive renovation to the quarry over there. You're bringing back your Bison mascot for the first time in 60 years. Did you see that?
There's a lot of weird things going on.
There's a lot happening over in Bloomington, Indiana right now, all headed by Curt Cignetti. And I think the highlight of it all being over the next 5 years, Nate, like you just said, 0 Power 4 non-conference games. 9 of them are versus non-AQ opponents, and 4 of them are versus FCS opponents. That's crazy.
I have largely tried to give Curt Cignetti the benefit of the doubt.
I kind of like Curt Cignetti.
Aside from all of the weird trash talk and having to pay the price for that against Ohio State last November and opening himself up to that level of criticism, like, that's fine. He should be confident in himself. Look him up. Here's why I win.
Google me.
Yeah,
you brought 90% of your roster over from James Madison.
Even like the game against Notre Dame, it's like, well, it turned out that it wasn't as embarrassing as it might have seemed during the first half.
They were a good football team last year.
He accomplished something real at Indiana, and you give him credit for that. But I have maintained a healthy level of skepticism throughout this offseason. As you mentioned, he brought over a bunch of veteran talent. Now, Does that mean you should just be able to bring up a James Madison roster and win Big Ten games? No, there's a level of coaching there that is required to maximize that. Like, he deserves credit for it. But the transfer portal roster building is a high wire act.
Yeah.
And you can ask Mel Tucker how easy or difficult it is to do that, sustain that year over year. And that's why I'm wondering if Curt Cignetti can actually do this over the long haul at a place where it's incredibly difficult to win at the level he did a year ago, even once. But to do it 2 or 3 or 4 times, I'm not sure that that's possible. And he seems to be aware of that, or else he wouldn't be decimating the schedule to the level he is. That's embarrassing, honestly. And Tony Petitti in the league should be looking at this like, even James Franklin is like, whoa, buddy, cool it. That's
that Navy game in 2029 doesn't look all that bad compared to this.
No, they'll cancel it. Don't worry.
Yeah, it'll be there. Fine. They have Murderers Row this year. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. Nice little in-state battle there with the Sycamores and the Hoosiers. Next year on tap, Colorado State and Western Kentucky. And then the year after that, we're going back to Kennesaw State, Indiana, and UMass. I mean, that is as paltry as you get. If you don't, it's bad.
If you don't want people to call you a fraud, play real opponents.
But also, too, let's be honest for a second. Indiana football has never had the season in which they had last year, right? Like,
True.
You get into a college football playoff. It's awesome. You are riding this high of trying to sell to your fans that, hey, we're contenders. We're going to be in here, and we're going to be competitive, and we're going to be smash mouth in the Big Ten. And then you reward them with by the way, Virginia's not very good. But at least they play.
That's the point. We're not talking about Alabama.
In the Power 4, all right? They play in the ACC, if I'm still correct. Maybe they joined another conference by the time we were doing this, but they're still an ACC member. But you're trying to sell to your fan base's marquee games, right? And we talk about it all the time here with Ohio State. Boy, the only marquee games that you've got at Ohio Stadium this year are yada, yada, and yada, yada. And boy, it's a weak home slate. It's not that. You're not playing those guys. Yeah, Texas coming in here, and you got Penn State coming in too, which should be a spectacle.
And the MAC champions.
And you get the MAC champions. That's right. How dare I forget the Ohio Bobcats? I'm glad the fact it's a night game. But that's as bad. That's as bad and as cowardly as it gets for scheduling.
This is not dodging an SEC game. This is Virginia. If you can't beat Virginia, get out of the league.
Get out.
And just leave. Everyone in this league should be able to beat Virginia, especially in the state that they're at right now. No offense to the Cavaliers. Big Ten teams should not be buying out of games against Virginia.
No, they shouldn't be. I am excited to see that Bison mascot, though. I'll give him that. I wish it was a live.
Classic.
We need more live mascots in college football. We should have had a live Bison. I don't have zero idea because I didn't do my research, and I'm sure I could go read about the history of the Bison and the Hoosier, but I don't know why they chose a Bison. It needed to be live. Don't bring back some stuffed Bison with some guy in it or gal. Bring back a live Bison that is just grazing on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, I think Indiana's famous for it.
So
the first Bison was discovered.
One of my good friends, really good friends, also very weird, went to Indiana, played football. His 2 brothers went to Indiana to play football, and then his youngest brother went to Purdue to play football. So it was kind of a saboteur move by the youngest brother to go there. Anyways, I'll never forget this story. His mom and dad were sitting in, I believe it was Kevin Wilson's office at the moment, and first 2 kids had already gone to Indiana. One was out at the time, and other friend was being recruited by them, and his mom just looked the coach right in the eyes like, Coach, I have a question. Like, they know everything about Indiana. They're there every weekend. They spent every Saturday in the fall in Bloomington or on the road, like watching their boys play. She goes, I have a question. What's a Hoosier? They'd been in the program for 5 years, half a decade. And she's like, I still don't know what a Hoosier is. And I think I've Googled it before. It's just a person that's native to Indiana. I don't know how they tied in a Bison with it, but good job, Indiana. If you want people to make fun of you for ditching Virginia, this is what you get.
It's a classic magician's trick. It's deflection. Look over there. It's a Bison. Oh, we just ruined our schedule.
Yeah.
You didn't see it. Don't worry about it.
What else you got for us tonight, Nate?
Well, speaking of having difficulty beating teams, Hugh Freeze has gotten a lot of grief recently. Of course, Auburn went 5-7 last year. AL.com last month reported Hugh Freeze had been on the golf course 10 times in less than a month and many more than that over the course of the year. Steve Spurrier decided to come out of the woodwork and comment on the Another Duly Noted podcast, saying he doesn't win ball games. I think he went 5-7 last year. Is that correct? Yeah, he's got to do better than that at Auburn.
I mean, Steve Spurrier was known to play a little golf in his day.
It's a little bit ironic that Steve Spurrier is the one coming out and telling Hugh Freeze that he needs to chill out on the golf course.
But maybe that's his point. He's like, if you win at my level, you can play more golf, Hugh Freeze. But if you're losing, you might want to stay in your office. And I think that's a fair point.
I do too. I think it's very fair.
You earn the right to hit the links. It's a treat. It's not a right.
And I did like how this was obviously addressed at Media Days with Hugh Freeze. And he said, everybody seems to talk about my golf game. I do love golf. Who doesn't, Coach? You know, I'm with you. Austin's with you. Everybody who golfs out there is with you.
Preach it.
I enjoy playing. But what people don't realize, and I assure you that I never missed a camp day or a recruiting day. Thank God. Can you imagine that? I'm missing a camp day because I got a nice little golf course set up today. Private course, all inclusive, drinks, food, everything's going to be great. Guys, I got to miss out on a camp day. If that's the bar and the standard at Auburn, that you've never missed a recruiting visit or you've never missed a camp day because you're golfing, we need to raise that
How
bar.
many recruiting visits have you scheduled around golfing?
Yeah, exactly, Nate, because you're in charge of it.
I think that was the point that AL.com was making. It was like, these amount of days existed in that live evaluation period, and he was still playing golf. It's like, it's not an accident that he responded to that question by pointing that out, because that is the, I don't know, assumption based on some of the certain days that he was proven, or at least he was logging a score in the GEN, that he was maybe shirking some head coaching responsibilities.
Said I'm not apologizing for any part of it. Good for you, Coach.
Stop asking, all right?
All right. Quit asking. It seems there's still an ongoing battle between the Big Ten and the SEC. We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Take time to enjoy the summer chillin' good life this week with Meijer low prices. Save on all your classic summer flavors like fresh blueberries, 3 pints for just $5, and $1.99 a pound fresh from Meijer whole pork shoulder butt roast. Plus, save a good deal more with hot deals on Meijer brand must-haves like Meijer bottled water, $2.99 for a 24-pack, and Meijer freezer pops just $1.99. Live the good life this summer by saving a good deal more at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Come on over to Heartland and
Join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
More clouds than sunshine, hot and humid. At least we're dry on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the upper 80s. Overnight will fall back down to the low 70s with a chance of a shower or storm early in the day. A better chance in the afternoon and evening Wednesday with highs in the mid to upper 80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Are we drinking the scarlet and gray Kool-Aid? You bet we are. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
We're here on the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our good friends over at Coors Light. When the mountains are blue, you know those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. I just got very entrenched in Indiana bison research.
Going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was reading the press release of them bringing back the bison. And it's shocked to me that I knew nothing of this. You're from Wyoming.
Yeah.
When I think of bison or a specific breed of bison known as buffalo, I would think of like Montana, Wyoming. Never did I once realize that Indiana used to house plenty of bison back in the day.
Well, have you got to the point where the buffalo is not native to North America?
All
we have are bison in North America?
No, I didn't know that.
There are no buffalo in North America.
How about that?
Yeah. We are really just cooking right now.
Hey,
didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's an important fact.
You learn something new every day.
And you've got more to teach us right now.
Why a bison, says the Indiana press release. The state of Indiana and the bison have been linked for more than 2 centuries. First of all, didn't know that.
Okay.
I don't know my state seals. Indiana and the bison, they've been linked for more than 200 years. In fact, the bison has been used as an Indiana symbol longer than Indiana has been a U.S. state. It first appeared on official court documents signed by then Indiana Territory Governor and future U.S. President William Henry Harrison in 1801, a full 15 years before Indiana became the country's 19th state in 1816. The territory seal depicted a woodsman chopping trees while a bison runs in the foreground, symbolizing the country's expansion on the Indiana frontier. Quote, at the time, western boundary of the United States. The bison has been a part of the Indiana state seal for forever. So much so that the first trail that was ever created in the state of Indiana, now I'm on the Indy Star. I just got way too much in the weeds here.
Another link.
Yeah. So much so that the bison actually created the first ever state trail in Indiana that people used to use back in the day to travel. And then bison basically went extinct in 1830 when they killed them.
They were using bison labor in Indiana? Take a look at this bad boy.
Yeah, no, Wyoming, see, that's a great state flag. You've got the bison. When I attribute bison, I think of, like I said, Wyoming, Montana,
Do I need to make a sounder that's like bison facts?
Yeah.
Once a week. It's going to be after On the Trail with Birm. And up next, we've got bison facts.
Bison talk. Do you think they're going to rival an unrivaled team in Penn State with their Nittany Lion call.
When did Indiana adopt that seal?
1816, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, they had a little bit of an advantage because
you guys weren't a state yet.
We weren't a state yet. Cheaters.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your Bison info for the day.
Did you find out where the nickname Hoosier came from?
No, I'm not going to look up any more Indiana facts.
It literally is just you are from Indiana.
That's what I thought. That's what Kevin Wilson said to my buddy's mom.
How did they decide that's what they should call it? It doesn't play off of the state nickname.
The theory is in like the olden times, they would yell out "Who's there?" and it would become Hoosier. That's literally it.
Who's there? Hoosier?
Yeah.
Hosier. How about him?
But they only did that
in the church.
They never asked in any other state. It was only if you get past Ohio,
Hoosier.
Just start checking. Who's there? Who's there?
We're not in the United States anymore because we are in the Western territory.
The only other theory is there was a dude named Hoosier that had like a construction company and a bunch of people like were working for him.
Yeah.
And they were called Hoosiers.
I like the theory better that they're just yelling who's there and it was just Hoosier.
Yeah, but once you got to Illinois, they're like, no, we don't know what you're talking about.
No.
What'd you say?
We don't even know what that word means.
If you could understand the word, then you were in Indiana.
Do you know how to play euchre, Indiana? Yeah. That's a good Midwest thing. Have you been enjoying SEC Media Days?
No.
Okay. That sound says it all.
I am so glad. I'm annoyed that the Big Ten Media Days are in Las Vegas this year. I don't think it's going to be permanent. At least I hope it's not permanent. It does a disservice to the beats that actually matter in this league because Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State are the only ones that send, let's say, double-digit media members. And for this particular beat in Columbus, that stretches up to like 60 people that are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not all going to be able to travel. It's an expense. And you say, well, it's your job and you got to go do it. Yeah. Well, you got to balance that with we covered 16 games last year and the playoff runs up the tab. I'm not missing it. Birm's not missing it. Murph's not missing it. We're all, most everybody will be there, but not everyone. And you look at it, Birmingham, Alabama is not the hotbed of college football. They could have it in other places, Atlanta, Nashville, but being down there in that environment is nuts. It doesn't make any sense. And I had to cover it for a few years. They were the first ones to really set the tone and turning it into a television event and stretching it out over 3 days. And I was like, why do you only have 3 teams going a day, 4 teams going a day? Well, because SEC fans are rabid and they will listen to Vanderbilt's head coach talk about basting a turkey for 35 minutes.
Clark Lee, that's coach of the year, Clark Lee to you.
So that, and it was bizarre to walk in there in the morning and
was it
have
weird
hundreds of fans out there.
Was it weird when you transitioned from the SEC up here to the Big Ten? And like, what was that like from you, from a writing perspective, from a beat writer perspective, and the amount that you could satiate fans by giving them what they wanted when you wrote?
I thought
was there any stark difference when you came from Tennessee to up here?
I thought it was weird. The first Big Ten Media Days that I covered, I was actually talking to Zach Bourne about that and his experience because it's changed so much from 2012, the first one I was at, where it was in Chicago, it was downtown at that Marriott in the conference center.
Yeah, I was at that one.
Yeah, it was weird, and no one could get any Wi-Fi, and you were cramped in these hallways. And I was like, why does the Big Ten think this is how they can maximize the attention on their league? It was like 36 hours, and you're in and out and gone. And I wasn't advocating to go full-blown all week long like the SEC. I was like, you don't have time to talk to anybody else. If you talk to, who Zach Bourne was there, Braxton was there, Urban. It's like, that's it. That's all the time that you had. You were done. You couldn't talk to anybody else. It was difficult to talk to other people. I thought Mike Slive's State of the Union was not Mike Slive.
Jim Delaney.
Jim Delaney. Bad memories from the Mike Slive press conferences, but Jim Delaney's like, this is very weird. This is how you're doing it. And they would come ask what ESPN needed, what did ESPN.com need, and if we asked for something, we would get it, but it was like everybody else is fighting for scraps at that point. Like, that's not the way it is, where you just had an all-you-can-eat buffet in the SEC. They were ahead of the curve in terms of turning that into appointment viewing for passionate fan bases. And maybe there's an element where 13, 14 years ago, Ohio State's been this way forever. Michigan's been that way forever. Penn State's been that way forever. But it was like, well, it doesn't matter because no one shows up from Northwestern. No one's coming up to cover this from
Even
Illinois.
in Chicago.
Like, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't move the needle. They weren't going to show up and write about it. But I think part of it is because Big Ten didn't treat it as seriously as the SEC. And you look at the broadcast deals and the way it's been adjusted, and I'll poke fun about Tony Petitti and how next week is solely for the cameras, and BTN's going to have the stage show going on all day, and like it's only for those major broadcast partners. But that's how you generate enough interest to have the rest of the websites and the radio and the podcast all being there. Is like, well, they're acting like it's a really big deal, so you need to treat it like it is one and cover it accordingly. The SEC set the tone for that. The Big Ten has caught up in that way, but I hope they don't turn it to the level of madness where you have to make it a big event to have your coach and your players walk through and like, hey, can you have fans travel 3 hours to go stand in this lobby for a glimpse at the players and maybe to see Saints Nick Saban?
You don't need to do that.
That part I thought was like, when I got to Chicago the first time, it's like, well, I'm really glad that's not happening here because that doesn't need to be the same event. You should have meet the team events, and you should do that in the city where your team lives.
Yeah, and Ohio State does that.
Yeah.
And they're opening up fall camp. Tickets are on sale right now, and they do Student Appreciation Day in the spring, and they do all kinds of different stuff.
Again, I mean, this is coming from the Buckeye Show's resident press box snob. It is inside baseball. I know all anybody wants is like, okay, well, it's
Austin
mid-July.
in press boxes, Birm with red sauce.
Yeah, let's tomato sauce with chunky tomatoes in it.
This is the show for the one percenters.
Yeah, it really is, Nate. You're right.
I don't think we've ever been described that way in our profession, but
daughter won't even go to the state fair.
I mean, she is the 1%er of roller coaster riders, so she'll be disappointed in that.
You're the 1%er of press boxes.
I guess that I'll own that. I'll wear that badge of dishonor. But it's all anybody wants is to be able to talk about football, to get to training camp, and it doesn't need to be a huge production. And I think sometimes it gets overcomplicated, and the lifespan of the way media days have been operated for years is antiquated. It doesn't work. Like, I don't need to talk to the other teams. We've joked about going out to the pool at Mandalay Bay and having a beer with Brett Bielema. Okay, that'd be cool. But there's nothing that I could say or write or evaluate for the other 17 teams in the Big Ten that anyone would care about. And I've learned that lesson repeatedly everywhere I've worked, thinking back the last 20 years. Well, Wyoming fans weren't going to care what UNLV had on their depth chart.
Yeah.
And Tennessee fans, the truth of the matter, at the end of the day, they didn't care who was going to be playing for Ole Miss. And Ohio State, especially, like the fans care about this team to the level that I don't think anyone else in the country does. But who's on their opponents, it doesn't really matter to almost any of them. And I've got a lot of analytics that'll back that up.
We're going to answer Austin's question of the day about the Ohio State linebacking core coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight Bob's Discount Furniture and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get one juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, one original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out here, coming up top of the 8 o'clock hour, we will get you down to Atlanta for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Were you watching baseball's jump off the bats last night, the home run derby?
I was not. What did I miss?
Not a whole lot. I didn't like the new format.
They changed it?
Yeah, they changed it again. You get 40 pitches or 3 minutes, whichever one comes first. Just go back to the 10 strikes rule.
Yeah.
Just do that. No pitch clock. That way these guys can have 15, 20 seconds in between swings if they want to. Can take as many
It was
pitches.
taking like 7 hours to have the home run derby.
It took 7 hours last night anyways.
Well.
Because then at the end, they got 3 balls that were the outs. Like they got a bonus ball. I was watching Jazz Chisholm up there.
Do nothing.
Yeah. And Meredith is looking at me. We're watching potty training videos, and she's looking at me. She's like, why does he get the extra bonus balls? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know the rules of this. Just go back to the 10 outs.
I mean, the tribal chief returned to Raw last night, so you could
That's the important thing.
You could have been watching Roman Reigns, and you would not have been.
I'm just knee deep. We're knee deep in potty training videos right now.
That sounds dirty.
Because we're starting it tomorrow. And I shouldn't even say potty training. It's called potty learning now.
It is an important lesson.
It is. And I've also never met an adult yet that has yet to learn how to use the potty.
It's a skill that you got to have.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like
check that box.
If you want to navigate life, like you got to do it. So we're starting that tomorrow, which is just going to be.
I can't wait for the update. What the first 12 hours have looked like.
It's going to be.
If you come in here and again tomorrow you say up to your knees in something, I'm going to be quite concerned.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. I'll tell you that much. It's not going to be fun. So that's what we got to look forward to coming up tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and really just one of life's great adventures, learning how to potty train.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember that adventure personally, but I do remember what it was like for Liberty's journey into the unknown. And it was actually pretty seamless, so I'm hoping the best for you. Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember? What age she did it at?
She was ready to rock before she turned 2.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean that you're fully out of the woods, especially like nighttime situations.
Yeah, we're just gonna do the nighttime diapies still.
The real you're gonna need to do that for sure.
I don't want to get up in the middle of the night and clean.
Pro tip: don't stop that before 2.
Yeah.
But she was also like she had an in-home daycare situation around other kids, and so she watched the others go through that process, and she was ready to do it. She's like, well, I already know that's how this works. And she was
easy.
It was easy for her. So we got very fortunate on that front.
Okay. I have my doubts that we're going to get as fortunate as you. What was your question of the day yesterday, Austin, concerning the Buckeye linebackers?
Yeah, I got a question. Arrived on X, said, is this the year that the Ohio State dominance returns at linebacker?
Last year was pretty good.
And I got the question, and it felt like I had been transported back in time to like 2021. Like there was a real lull. Ohio State was in the midst of this multi-season period where there was no all Big Ten linebackers. And we know what happened in some of the matchups that weren't to Ohio State's favor in the national championship game against Alabama. And
yes,
it's become
why did you bring that up?
A well-worn joke there. It's not just about Tough Borland or, some of those, linebacker groups that weren't.
To be fair, Devontae Smith was pretty good.
And to be fair, the defense that was called, he was not supposed to be the primary guy in coverage on that.
I would hope not.
Yeah, he wasn't. But it doesn't matter. It made for an easy joke and a screen grab that you could say, hey, this shouldn't happen. And I would agree, based on that screen look and not getting any safety help in the middle of the field, that's probably not what Ohio State wanted.
That's a A1 matchup for Bama.
Yeah, they're like, we'll take the Heisman Trophy winner here and see what happens. But I was like, that doesn't seem like it actually applies anymore. I feel like this has turned the other direction. The tide has turned. The momentum is on Ohio State's side. And it's hard to build a number one ranked total defense if one of your positions sucks, isn't dominant, or isn't close to the level of dominance that you expect. And I was trying to rack my brain. It was like, I don't know, were there periods of time when Jim Knowles and James Laurinaitis were trying to scheme around Cody Simon and Sonny Styles to create something? And I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, they seem to be in the thick of it.
So that doesn't jog my memory. I remember advocating that Cody Simon needed to be a Butkus finalist, and people weren't paying attention to how well he played, and that didn't matter because he was stacking up defensive MVP performances in the playoff on the way to a national championship. So I just thought, I understand the question. I know where it's coming from. And if you looked even at the awards that Ohio State won a year ago, I don't think Cody Simon got enough attention. I don't think Sonny Styles got enough attention. I don't think Arvell Reese, even as the third guy, was getting enough credit for the work that they were doing. But I thought, you know what? It was pretty darn good. But I'm gonna still take the question at face value. So let's find something deeper than just being the number one defense and just winning a national championship. And I was like, PFF, which some people like, some people don't like, amongst starting linebackers that played 80% of their snaps last year, Cody Simon was third in the country.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty darn good. Sonny Styles was 25th. So Ohio State had 2 of the top 25 linebackers in the country. That's just off PFF grades. So we could go deeper.
Mind you, that was also Sonny Styles' first year playing linebacker.
Yeah, he's still getting better, by the way. So if we're talking about, all right, well, they lost Cody Simon. Let's say you agree they were dominant a year ago. How do they sustain that? The level of recruiting success has dramatically upticked under James Laurinaitis. That was not the forte of Jim Knowles. He does deserve credit for the scheme and the development of that position. It's not James alone that is doing that. But when it comes to that work in evaluating, working with the personnel, maximizing their talent, he was already doing that before he was full-time. So he deserves credit for that. And he helped build that silver bullet legacy as a player. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like, I'm not saying that it was always perfect. We know that it wasn't. For 5-6 years, that reputation that James established, that Marcus Freeman, that A.J. Hawk, that Bobby Carpenter, that these guys all established, that Schlegels established.
Ryan Shazier, we can go down the list, right?
It had fallen off of the map for a group that was known by that silver bullet moniker, and everyone knew to fear those Ohio State linebackers. But I think they had already recaptured that. They were already among the best defenses in the country the last couple years. I thought last year was another major step forward. Cody Simon was phenomenal. Sonny Styles took that next step. And now you need to do that again. But I think you look at how thin the depth was for that group, and you could go back and point and say, well, Tommy Eichenberg and Steel Chambers had this level of production. It was pretty good, maybe not dominant if you want to be nitpicking on that.
It was solid.
Solid, not nothing spectacular, nothing flashy about it. And that's really true for Cody Simon and Sonny Styles too, which if they had been more outspoken or flashier, maybe they'd win more awards and we wouldn't have even had the opening to discuss this. But what James Laurinaitis has done now is elevate this level of recruiting success. When we've talked so much, Beamer, about Peyton Pierce being that next guy in and schools trying to tamper and get him in the portal, he's an example of identifying someone you want, building a relationship, and then having someone buy into your plan. That happened with both Riley Pettijohn and TJ Alford in this recruiting cycle.
Excited to see those guys.
They show up.
And I'm not trying to just fast forward to the season. I'm also excited to see Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, but those two guys that you mentioned right there, I'm excited to see what their Buckeye careers hold.
And a healthy Garrett Stover in between there. I don't think that he should just be dismissed. When he was healthy, he is a Stover. Cows don't take days off. He's been a dude
Stover
of the week
Farms.
this summer. He's got that athleticism too. So that's the overall big picture look, is that James Laurinaitis has shown that he's got a knack for taking the football IQ that's in his brain and instilling it in others. And not everyone can do that. When we talk about Brian Hartline or James Laurinaitis, it's not as if just every Ohio State player can come back and pass on their knowledge and it's that easy. The art of coaching is an art. It is difficult, and not everybody is built for it. James has proven that he can do that part, that he's going to be a passionate recruiter. His players believe in him. And now it's like, okay, how are you going to use it? How does that fit into what we talked about with training camp storylines, Matt Patricia's defense? Are we going to see opportunities with Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, and Peyton Pierce all on the field?
Yeah.
Are you going to?
I would have to think so. At some point, not saying that it's going to be the lion's share of what they run on defense, But I would think in some sort of situation, or maybe during a quarter of a game, or whatever it may be, that at one point this season, you will definitely see those three guys on the field at the same time.
If you're playing Illinois and Wisconsin back-to-back, that's probably a very safe bet that you've got there, Beamer. So my answer to that was Ohio State's level of dominance at linebacker has already returned. The mandate now for James Laurinaitis and the Silver Bullets is to keep it there. And you have to do that on the recruiting front, you have to do that on the development front, and then you have to do it in terms of game day performance, schematics, whatever, game plans, all that stuff. And you have to prove it week after week because it can disappear just that quickly. We saw that. If you think back to that run that you mentioned with Ryan Shazier and Raekwon McMillan and going throughout the mid-2010s and the success of those linebackers that
Darren Lee was a monster.
That were so critical to winning in that national championship a decade ago. It's like, well, that's going to stay forever.
Yeah.
Not if you don't pay attention to it. Not if you don't devote the same level of coaching. And what was the punchline 8 years ago? Well, Billy Davis is here, and he's only here because he was in Urban's wedding. Like, James isn't here only because he played at Ohio State. I can promise you that.
Now, it's also a good reason why he's back at Ohio State.
It's a perk. It's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a foot in the door. But Ryan Day didn't give him that job the first time that he expressed an interest in it.
No, he did not.
He had to go elsewhere to do that and show that he was really passionate about it and he was going to be successful at it. And it only took 1 year for everyone to realize,
oh, boy, this guy's pretty good.
Might want to have him around. You don't want to recruit against him. You'd like to have him recruiting for the Block O and the program that he gave his blood, sweat, and tears to as a player. Because if he gives you even an ounce of that same intensity as a coach, you're going to be pretty well off for it.
Yeah, and the best part about James, too, and just getting to work with him in his days of working here, he is a very, very real human being, and I can see why those kids, recruits, latch onto him, and then when they get here, how the development works. I mean, I can see it, and you can see it on the football field with just 1 year.
And it's the same conversation that we have at the other positions. It's not, I mean, James, when he signed his extension and was once the highest paid linebacker in the history of the NFL, now you're not just talking about guys currently in the league for Ohio State to point to. Now you're talking about Brian Hartline got to a second deal. James Laurinaitis got to a second deal.
Leading tackler all time for the Rams.
And then you're coming back and you're pitching not just your football intelligence, your knowledge of the game, but also your experience in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and wearing the scarlet and gray. Like, that is the difference maker. It elevates that. And when you're talking to a recruit or someone is trying to tamper and get, I don't know, Peyton Pierce out of the transfer portal, he can sit down and say, this was the plan. This is what I told you about when you came 1 year ago. I still believe in this, and this is the path forward. And you can believe it or not believe it. But if you're the player that I thought you were, I think you're probably going to stick around.
I think linebacker room's just going to be fine.
Just fine, yeah.
Yeah, just fine to very good. We'll do hashtag Buckeyes.
Not dominant. That beam's on record.
A very good to dominant, maybe best in the country. Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. Give Bath R Us a ring. Call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there.
So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge.
Get too hot?
My phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
Buckeye football training camp is coming. Catch live editions of Morning Juice, T-Bone, and Tybus and Bishop and Friends starting July 31st. They'll be close enough to smell the jock straps. Live on the Fan and YouTube. Yay football.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the offseason. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue. We actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at The Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Get you down to the A coming up here, 8 o'clock. It's Scooball against Skeens in the Midsummer Classic tonight for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I do like the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, though, because it resembles the most of any game of any sport. Like, it's a baseball game.
This time, it counts.
Yeah, exactly. So we do that. Before we get out of here, I want to give you yesterday's fan poll and today's fan poll.
Oh,
yesterday's fan poll, if you had to watch one catalog from any actor, who would it be? Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, or Harrison Ford?
Wow.
I know. It was... Murph and Nate had one answer. I had another.
What was rattling through their brains at 6 a.m. that this was the daily fan poll?
There's probably some Bobby tangent, I'm guessing.
Okay. Only one?
Yeah, Ford, Hanks, Cruise.
I think you have to go Harrison Ford.
Okay, you guys won. You guys were 3-1.
You are a wise man.
Yeah, I went Hanks.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine.
Wow.
Fine to good.
Okay, is that the taste of my own medicine there?
Yeah. How do you like that?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why? What? Why do you got to have Tom Hanks?
I love Castaway. I love Captain Phillips.
Okay.
Nate pointed out to me, I wasn't even thinking about it, all the Toy Story movies.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah, that is a bonus there.
Yeah, Forrest Gump's a banger.
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just never been at that level of dominance in a while. I just don't see it.
Today's fan poll at 971 The Fan.
I know why Murph took Harrison Ford.
Yeah, of course you do. Or on X at 971 The Fan. Would you rather have the college football playoffs stay at 12 teams for the foreseeable future or move to 16 teams as soon as possible? I don't care, honestly. I'm at this point now where we've been talking about Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey and the SEC and the Big Ten taking it over. 12 seems like a fine number to me. It worked out fine this year. I would like to see a little tinker if I were the overlord of college football. I would play the first and the second round at home games and then the semifinal. I would then say, all right, go to your traditional bowl sites, play the semifinal at the Rose Bowl or the Cotton Bowl, and then do a national championship. I'd move it up a week, too, where the national championship game was played on New Year's Day. Like, if I were the commissioner of college football, that's what I would do. Since nobody is asking me, I don't care.
Why haven't they asked you?
I don't know.
Didn't you send in
those
your?
Those are pretty easy answers.
Didn't you send in your resume?
That most college football fans would like. You keep it at 12. Now, here's the pros of 12. The regular season still means a lot.
Easy math.
Okay? Yeah. 17 seems better. 16 teams just seems like too much. There's not 16 teams in college football that can compete for a national championship. On a good year, there's 8. On a bad year, there's 4. Maybe 2. Like, and maybe in the future it gets to a point with the transfer portal, and last year was really fun. It was really competitive across college football. And we're seeing more guys transfer and these small programs elevate, and you catch lightning in a bottle like Mr. Google Me, Kurt Cignetti did at Indiana. Like, that was fun. That was an awesome college football storyline. You had Boise State getting a bye. You had Arizona State getting a bye. I don't need to see that. I know that they're going to go away with that. But if you're asking me, and I don't have the choice to go back to 8, because that would have been my number. Just do it at 8. Everybody plays in the first round. You're good to go. You can bicker about 9 and 10 all you want, but we're sitting at 8. I don't need expansion. I'm good with 12. It's fine.
Here's the problem that they had, the decision makers a year ago, is that they put this model out there, and we made a bunch of jokes about how poorly the math worked out, how nonsensical it was to give the buys where they did, that it was obvious that the top 4 seeds deserved to play on campus as well, even after sitting out that first round, and what a disadvantage that wound up being for them. But out of all of that stuff, you could work around it because we wound up with a bunch of really competitive semifinal games, and the championship was awesome. Not just for people in Columbus, but the way that Notre Dame fought back, the path that they took to get there, it was all validated.
Penn
and we
State
knew,
Notre Dame game was great. The Ohio State Texas game was great.
And we knew that it had been settled on the field. But the opening round games gave a window into the fact that there aren't 16 teams that can win the national championship. That wasn't the intention when they picked that. I think they were hoping they would get to 12 and like, check out these first round games. They were really competitive. Everybody watched them.
Not with the format that they went with.
It was, don't you guys think this is awesome? What if we had 4 more teams? Well,
what's that going to look like?
If
you're doing
like
a
blowouts.
1 versus a 16, we already saw what a 5 versus a 12 was, and we already saw Ohio State and Tennessee be matched up as the 8-9. We saw that.
I'm even less interested in the play-in game idea.
Oh, it's awful.
It's horrible. But
it's a terrible idea.
Inadvertently, by going to 12 the way they did and bypassing 8, they proved that there aren't enough teams to go to 16, that there are not enough teams even at 9 through 12 that are viable national title contenders. To win 4 games is not going to happen with those quality of teams.
No.
And the ones that got in,
you can get 1.
Everyone was sitting there on that Friday night saying, what's Indiana doing here? This game's over at halftime. And then the games on Saturday.
This game's over in the first quarter.
Were even worse. They were even worse. You actually don't know how good you had it last night with Indiana.
You had a great time watching Indiana and Notre Dame in the snow. It was fantastic, and you're going to eat it.
And then what did you think when Penn State was up 3 touchdowns after 6 minutes of the game? Like,
I don't know. Turn it off. I took a nap during that game. I'm like, I don't need to watch this. I got to get ready for a big night game here in Columbus.
Yeah, don't think SMU is good enough to win a national championship.
They don't
Imagine
have the
that.
horses.
Hey, buddy.
Buzzinga.
Wow.
Thank
Pun
you so
intended.
much. I'll be here all week. Tomorrow until 7 only because we got the inside edge. Yeah, thanks, Nate, for that. Appreciate that.
It's that studio audience that we have in here.
Yeah,
so,
the live studio.
So robust.
Yeah, I mean, and I know it's not going to happen because we're looking for extra dollars. And by we, I mean they are looking for extra dollars and any more TV games that they can get. And listen, I'm a college football fan. You're a college football fan. Nate, you are. I'll watch. I'm going to watch. That's the problem. Maybe I'm part of the problem, but it doesn't need to go to 16. There's not enough good teams in college football to argue that it should go to 16 teams.
The problem is not even unique to college football. The exact same thing is happening with the expanded NFL playoffs. The point of navigating the regular season and making it matter is that once you get to the postseason, you only have viable contenders to actually win your championship. That's not the case with everyone who makes the NFL playoffs. That's also why there's been an adjustment in some of the standards and expectations. Like, can this team get there and win a playoff game? They don't talk about them being like, well, are they a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah.
It's shaded the expectations for that. And that doesn't exist for college football fans. It definitely doesn't exist here. It is about winning championships, and can you win it all?
It's about winning every game is what it's about.
Even Indiana, they didn't go into last year being like, you know what would be cool, just making the playoff. They didn't, and maybe that will be the way they view it in the future now that they've been there.
That's a huge result for them.
But there's no one else that's doing that. Tennessee wasn't like, you know what? We're going to head up there 6 hours. It's just really cool to be at the Horseshoe. No.
I think their fans would tell you that. It's a great experience for them.
Yeah, that's not what they said to me. But they thought once they got in, oh, well, here's the path to the national championship. They weren't just happy to be there.
No.
And anybody who gets in the college football playoff, that's the whole point of being a passionate college football fan. It is not about just squeezing in, not about expanding the college basketball bracket so there's many mid-majors and every major team can get in and get a participation trophy. Like, that's not the goal here. And I hope that some common sense eventually wins out because we don't need 16 teams in the playoff. I know it's going to happen, but it's going to be even dumber than what we got now.
Austin, let's argue tomorrow why 24 teams is the real reason.
Fine.
7 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be off. Inside Edge will be on after we're done. A little shortened show tomorrow. You come back tomorrow? You good with that?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Everybody have an awesome night. Major League Baseball All-Star Game up next on The Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large big gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large big gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Soy has been keeping secrets, and it's ready to share. Soybeans are among the most versatile agricultural products. They are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we all love and use every day. Ohio is leading the way, developing new uses for soybeans to support our changing world. Soy low-key slays, and I'm here for it. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Broadcasting from the